This video is brought to you by
Cool Grain Clothing. We done gone worldwide and we coming straight out of Baltimore. Come on down, shop with us at 215 West Saratoga Street. And if you can't come and shop with us in person, go online right now at coolgrainclothing.com and make your purchase. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way, and that's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube, fam? This your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one, fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. In certain environments all over the world, unfortunately, bad things happen. They could happen to you or people you love because the streets have no picks. Now, some people who are law-abiding citizens will call the police if they are a victim to a crime, which if you didn't sign up for that lifestyle, there's nothing wrong with that. But others that live by a certain code or consider themselves street dudes live by a different set of rules. Eye for an eye, retaliation, revenge, get back, whatever you want to call it. Meaning you do something to me or mine, we double back and do something worse to yours. It's really nothing new under the sun. You have generational beefs that started decades ago from people doing something to an individual whose family or friends live by that code. For example, your father was beefing with somebody in the 90s. That person loses their life. Their peoples feel like your father or his people did it. Now it's war. Sometimes that generation will knock each other off, leaving them all in graveyards or jail cells. But now the victim's son wants get back, and you and him are now beefing. It's a cycle that for whatever reason we were taught to live by. Some people wake up, peep the trap, the environmental trauma and pain we inflict on each other, and say, you know what? We've been shooting at each other for years, and nobody is winning at the end of the day. I'm done. But others will never. They don't care about hurting somebody that looks like them, keeping the cycle going, putting their peoples in harm's way, because if you are not reachable, retaliation, it stands to family and friends. But that mindset has put more of us in early graves and cells than anything else. And unfortunately, the cycle continues. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we'll be discussing the case of a man's plan for street justice and retaliation that backfired in a crazy way. Back in 2024, 41-year-old Terrence Hazelwood was navigating life in Baltimore. Described as somebody who loved his family and friends a lot and was very loyal to his peoples. Terrence would become more than mad when he heard something that happened to his 14-year-old godson. Allegedly, word on the street was an older man in his 30s, who we will call Jay for the sake of the story, confronted Terrence's godson on his way home from school, robbed the young man, and made him give him his clothes and shoes, before then telling Shorty to walk home. Terrence, familiar with Jay, had a choice to make. Either let his godson's people report the incident or find Jay and retaliate. Already heated that a grown man was targeting his teenage godson, Terrence made up his mind. It wasn't no rap, nothing to talk about, and when he saw Jay, it was on sight. 2 days after his godson was robbed, he was riding with his cousin. When Terrence got word, Jay might be at a local liquor store called Club Paradise, located in the 1300 block of Lawrence Street in West Baltimore. Thirsty for get back, he got his cousin to stop the car while he walked in the store to confront the man. He was so focused on the mission, Terrence didn't peep, time out, or police all in the area. As he walked up on Jay, asking why he tried his peoples like that, it didn't take long for multiple shots to go off. And Terrence, trying to get out the jam, he ran back to his cousin's whip, but BPD spotted the man. They saw Terrence running from the store and followed the vehicle. In a desperate attempt to get away, he decided to bang it out with police, letting off shots at them, before hopping out the car, running on feet. Now with helicopters and police calls on him, he dropped the gun in the sewer drain and somehow managed to get out the situation. But the car he was in and his cousin had been stopped by police, with his peoples being taken into custody. Back at the scene of the shooting, police found Jay was hit 5 times, in critical condition but still conscious. Police already had information on the trigger man, and with Terrence shooting at them, they were on his heels. Only 2 days would pass before he was picked up, taken into custody, charged with multiple counts of first-degree attempt, reckless endangerment, and handgun violations, as police were able to retrieve the weapon that he dropped in the sewer. When questioned about the incident, Terrence informed police the victim Jay wasn't an innocent bystander. He stated the fact that Jay had robbed his godson 2 days prior and was walking around like it was sweet. Jay would survive his injuries and the case would make its way to court. Prosecutors pointed to the fact Terrence could have reported the crime and told authorities what happened to his peoples, but he decided he would handle the situation himself with street justice. His actions were called reckless as they pointed to the fact of a trickle-down effect, him shooting Jay, then desperate not to get caught, shooting at the police. But his lawyer argued Terrence felt police probably wouldn't have done anything, as situations like this happen all the time in the Baltimore streets with no consequences. So he decided Jay wasn't going to mess with his godson again and took matters into his own hands. The judge called it a case of vigilant justice gone wrong and agreed with the prosecutor, stating Terrence showed no regard for human life, and in the end, he was sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years, with 22 years suspended. So basically, life plus 8 years. He was ordered to have no contact with the surviving victim, Jay. Fortunately, in this situation, nobody lost their life. But Terrence, at 42 years old, caught an L, a life sentence. I definitely understand his motive. Somebody does something to one of your loved ones who really can't defend themselves, that would make anybody mad. If Jay really did rob his godson at 30-something years old and Shorty was only 14, he definitely was a bully. But one thing about the streets, dudes like that don't last long anyway. Eventually, he will have tried the wrong person or hopper, because these teens not playing either. But Terrence crashed out. The cold part about it is, his godson is still out there by himself, now with no protection, because you can't help him from a jail cell. But I want to know y'all thoughts on this situation. Do you feel like Terrence was in the right, or did he handle the situation wrong? And have you yourself ever been put in a situation where somebody did something to you or one of your family members and you felt like you had to retaliate? If so, what made you change your mind, or how did the situation play out? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, man, it's a crazy situation, but I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. I want to know y'all thoughts about the situation, but I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. This is another episode of the Baltimore Way. This your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.